Joining me now, Jason Miller. He is the Transition Team Communications Director for the President-elect. Jason, good to see you.
Megan, good evening.
So, just getting this in my ear, Good Morning America is reporting that Lieutenant General Michael Flynn has been selected as National Security Advisor. Is that true?
No formal announcement yet for that position. General Flynn met with the President-elect today. He's been a companion on the campaign trail quite a bit, as we've seen over the past few months.
But are you denying it? Will you deny it here?
I'm saying he'd be a fantastic addition to somewhere to the administration. I'll let the President-elect make that decision.
When are we going to get the decision?
I'm a huge fan of General Flynn, and I'll leave that any decisions.
You think tomorrow?
I'll leave that to the President-elect.
Okay. All right. It's exciting. Possible news. All right. Knife fight. Allies blindly dialing in to the Trump Tower. Is that true?
No, not at all. And I think, I'm not sure if certain people are bitter that the election's over, maybe their candidate didn't win. But really, if you took a look inside of Trump Tower right now, you'd see a very calm, methodical plan to go and get our administration put together. And really, the President-elect is bringing some absolute A-listers in to meet with him. Had Senator Jeff Sessions in there today, General Mike Flynn, Eva Moskowitz, who's a charter school leader. We had Congressman Mike Pompeo, Dr. Tom Price. You look ahead to tomorrow, we have South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley coming in to meet with the President-elect, Florida Governor Rick Scott, Ken Blackwell from Ohio. I mean, just some absolute A-listers that are coming in. Some folks will be coming in to give counsel on maybe what an administration should look like and how to form things. Others might be under consideration for certain posts.
It's a mystery. Let me ask you, I know you just got off of a conference call. What was that about?
So we're doing daily calls with the press corps to talk about what's going on with the President-elect's schedule. So we went through the meetings that Mr. Trump had today. Okay. Went through a little bit.
Were they saying, where is he? Did he go back out to dinner? Does he understand? I mean, listen, this is a big deal for the media. I don't know that the American people care that much about it. But in the media world, we get to follow the president and the president-elect pretty much for every waking minute of his entire life. Is Donald Trump going to allow that?
Well, of course, we're going to form a protective pool, and there'll be the press that'll be covering him during his time as president. We'll have start moving toward that even before he's sworn in on January 20th.
So you're going to do the traditional protective pool that we've seen with other presidents, including Barack Obama?
We'll form a pool. The exact construct will get ironed out over the.
So it might not be quite as. They might not have the same access.
So our goal is to make sure that the president-elect that the press knows what's going on within the White House, and that we have an open line of communication. Now, the one thing I would say, just to push back a little bit, is there are some in the press corps that, quite frankly, never will be happy, as I said earlier today, unless they know if he's having fish or chicken for dinner, and they're sitting right next to him at the dinner table. I think there has to be a little bit of a degree of some boundaries and respect.
Plus, you can't get into the 21 Club unless you're wearing a jacket. And, you know, usually as the press, you're just kind of like, what would they say about this? If it's like, cover up for the love of...
I've never gotten the invite, so
you're looking good for the next one. Wait, I have Hadass Gold coming up but I really want to ask you, because you were the one who you had a special role on election night.
Well, I had a lucky role, I think that might be, and I had the opportunity to inform the president-elect that he had been, that the AP had called the race and he was going to be the next president. It was kind of at the moment, I didn't quite realize it, but then afterwards I realized that no, it was kind of a special thing. It was very cool, and we were waiting. Some folks had called Wisconsin, and some had called Pennsylvania, but then AP was the first one to.
Did you look at him and say, Mr. President-elect? I mean, did you get to actually use that language?
You know, I'm not sure exactly. I think it was something along the lines of
holy,
something like that. Right. You're going to be the next president, and I think it was just kind of a shock for a moment. It was a pretty exciting moment. But it was just all the energy and the excitement of last week's win, and all the people that worked so hard to put this together. Right. It was pretty cool.
Well, you know, we heard from Brad last night, who explains that he's the data guy, and he knew. He's like, I've been telling him all along, you know, for weeks at least, that he was going to win. But, you know, to the outside world, it was like, what? Stand by, because I'm bringing you back in a second. Okay. But I want to get to Hadass Gold. She's a media reporter for Politico and with us now. Hadass, good to see you.
Great to be here.
All right, so explain to the people sitting at home why they should give a fig whether Donald Trump lets the reporters follow him to the 21 Club while he goes to have dinner with his family.
Listen, reporters don't expect to be sitting at the dinner table between Eric and Ivanka as Donald Trump enjoys a steak. What we're trying to do is just to keep an eye on where the president is and what he's doing. We are the independent eyes that are not part of the campaign, not part of the government. Should, God forbid, anything happen to President-elect Trump, it is so important to have independent media there who can verify what happened. On 9/11, there were reporters with George W. Bush on Air Force One, and we knew that he was safe and what was going on. They weren't going to say where he was. They know how to keep secrets. But it is so vitally important because this is the new leader of the free world, as that letter said, and we need to know where he is and what he's doing.
Do you believe, I mean, you know, when Jason was suggesting he's going to have a, you know, press pool, we're going to have the press, but there may be some differences, there may be some changes. Donald Trump's never been an elected politician. He's 70 years old. He's used to having his privacy. What changes do you think we'll see under President Trump?
I'm not sure, I mean, hopefully Jason can say, but I'm not sure that we're going to see as much of that full-on press access as we've had before. Now, don't forget, President Obama and Hillary Clinton both ditched their protective press pools at different times. This is not that unusual. However, we really need that access, and we need it sooner rather than later. We don't know. That's the thing. We don't know when it's going to come. Is it going to be a week before Inauguration Day? Is it going to come tomorrow? Hopefully it will be tomorrow.
You raise a good point about 9/11, because that was supposed to be just any other day, and he was, you know, President George W. Bush was sitting there reading a children's book to an elementary school class, and no one knew that this was going to turn into 9/11, and it's good that we were there. Hadass, thank you for being here. So, Jason, you know, you understand the importance, right? It's like, think about that. Well, it's not that the press are just nosy. They're trying to do the people's business.
Absolutely, and they have a job to do, and that's to keep the American people informed, and also I think there has to be that little degree of privacy. One thing to keep in mind with Mr. Trump is that he has one of the most public, one of the most visible lives probably in the world. There's a microscope on every single movement. There are folks who are watching every single thing, and I do think that when it comes to maybe a family dinner, that there can be that little bit of privacy.
Okay. Let me ask you this. I want to get to this other thing. Lobbyists. Big move today in Team Trump in fulfilling a campaign promise. And why don't you tell them what it was?
Well, one of the campaign promises was to make sure that there weren't lobbyists involved with the transition team. And so under the guidance and the leadership of the vice president-elect and with our executive director of the transition team, we're making sure that no federal or state lobbyists are involved with the transition team. And so folks have a choice. They can be part of the transition team or they can be a lobbyist, but you can't be doing both. And this really goes to the broader package of some of the ethics reforms.
Drain the swamp.
Drain the swamp that the president-elect rolled out, where he said that if you serve in a leadership position in the executive branch, then you're not going to be a lobbyist for 5 years. And anyone signing up to go into the White House is going to have to live by that.
That will come as a delightful piece of news to many of our viewers.
Drain the swamp.
Great to see you, Jason.
Thanks, Megan.